Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kristen, by the way, with Management One Property Management, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Tyler Sudman of the Sudman Agency based out of Orange County. He is part of the Keller Williams team. And he's just been kind enough to join us and share a little bit about him, what he has to offer to investors and landlords, give us some tips and tricks that he's seen, talk about the market a little bit, and just let us know where are good places to buy investments. Is now the time to buy investment properties? And so he's going to share his knowledge with us. He'll be coming on here in just a second. As with all technology, there's special tricks and tips. So just as soon as he's able to connect, we will get going here. Okay, so I see there's one person joining us so far, and I think that might be him. So as soon as he's able to connect with us, then we will get started here. He's connecting, so just give us a second. Thanks for being with us. We'll get you. Hi, Tyler, can you hear me? Are you there?
I am.
I
Can you hear me?
Thanks so much for joining us today. It looks gorgeous out
Good.
there in Orange County. So I just was interviewing.
Yeah, it's a nice
That's
day.
awesome. Beats our weather.
Can't complain.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get started here. I just want to know, tell us a little bit about the Sudman Agency and what you guys bring to the table and how you got started in real estate and coming to have your own company.
Yeah, so again, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited. And yeah, so basically how I got into the industry was a combination of things. Um, but most of all, my parents. So they were both brokers, created a management company, and so growing up, I always, saw them helping family members or friends, maybe buying a home or just advice on investments or whatever the case was. And so that got me, thinking at a young age what I wanted to do. I went to one semester of community college here in Orange County, and I had this great plan mapped out that I was going to go to community college for a couple years and then maybe go to like San Diego State or something like that, right? Um, I was never the one to be book smart, and I do not like school. Um, and so I did one semester, um, dropped out, and said, okay, what do I want to do? And I was like, well, real estate. You make your own schedule. You're your own boss, um, and also you get to help people with one of or a few of their most important or biggest assets in one's lifetime. Um, and so I got into it. Honestly, when I got into it, I thought, what you kind of see on TV today, where you basically just get your license and you start selling multi-million dollar homes and make all this money. Obviously found out really quick that's
Reality
not how it
happened.
happens. So yeah, so I joined a company called Keller Williams, and I believe right now we're actually the number one brokerage in terms of agent count in the world. And so started with them. I've been with them my whole career. It'll be coming up on about 5 years
Wow.
in September. And so it's been really good. They have a lot of training, and that's the other thing too. I believe for the past 2 or 3 years running, we've been named the best company in terms of training across all industries, not just real estate. And believe it or not, number two was Jiffy Lube. So it's been a great experience. And so where the Sudman agency comes in, actually it was, my last name is Sudman. Uh, And I have a team within the Keller
Okay.
Williams brokerage, right? So we're still under the Keller Williams umbrella. However, nowadays, with technology out there, not even just for us as, the employer, but for the consumers out there, especially in real estate, the Zillows of the world and everything like that,
Yeah.
technology is at their fingertips. And so to be a one man or one woman stop shop in real estate is very, very difficult these days. If you want to grow your business, if you're just helping, a couple people out a year,
Right.
that's a little bit different, right? But if you're looking to expand your business and do as much as you possibly can, there's only so much you can do by yourself. And so, and it's not even in terms of, maybe just myself wanting to expand, but to better help our clients, right? Is to bring in more people on the team to service them. Because again, if I'm not available, someone else can be available to do this or that or
Sure.
answer any questions. And that's one of the things I've kind of been brought up on, not only in business, but in terms of life, is just
Yeah,
communication
absolutely.
is key, any relationship. And so, yeah, that's basically how we got here. So, it's been going really good. We're super excited, just started the team, about 6 months ago, six,
Wow,
7 months ago.
congratulations. That's
And
awesome.
so yeah, thank you. It's a learning curve for sure. Absolutely. But, it's one that we're super excited to see what else is in
Great.
store.
Well, Tyler, so you mentioned having a team and stuff like that. So can you share with us, like, what do you focus on in terms of selling? Are you helping buyers, sellers, investors, landlords? What is your niche?
Yeah, great question. So the easy answer
Right.
is all of it. As a licensed real estate agent, we can basically help anyone buy or sell, not only property in terms of residential, a condo, a townhome, a single family home, but also commercial buildings, industrial buildings. It's a little bit different, the commercial side or industrial side compared to the real estate side in terms of the residential sales, but we're licensed to do it all. And so, I would say what we what we've basically done in the past, for the most part, is helping, individuals purchase or sell, their
Okay.
their main residence. So whether it's a first-time home buyer and they're currently renting or staying with a family member, or whether it's someone that, is in a current home and they're selling that one to either
Sure.
upsize or downsize, and then obviously, being affiliate with Management One with you guys is, we've definitely, uh, over the years, created a plan to help investors, or, I know some people don't like the word
Yeah, it
investor,
scares
but
them. It
I think
scares
it's a
them.
great word. You
Yeah,
want to be an investor. You want to build that, whether it's owning one property or 100 rental properties, it's helping you create that, so to speak, uh,
sure.
retirement
Yeah, I
in a
think,
way.
and you kind of hit on it right there
You
too.
know,
And we certainly see it. It's that daunting word, investor, right? So having one
yeah,
rental property makes you an investor, but you don't have to be so intimidated by it. And so, kind of going along with that, in today's
absolutely.
market, what do you see? I mean, and now is the time to invest and expand, getting rental properties, because is it harder for people to qualify for home loans or multi-generational? I know there's like so much happening out there. Can you speak to any of that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, I mean, there's a lot happening out there. Right now, here's what I always say. If you're looking to buy, whether it's a primary residence that you're looking to move into for yourself and for your family, or you're looking to buy, rental property, it's
Sure.
always a good time to buy, right? I mean, there might be better times, quote unquote, to buy where there may uh, be an adjustment in
Hmm.
the marketplace. But as far as long term, creating that wealth and that retirement strategy, if that's what you're looking to do, whether it's again your primary residence or rental property, I mean, now is the time. I always say that, right? Because I mean, with inflation and appreciation, I mean, in 30 years from now, your home's going to be worth more than you bought it today, regardless of
Sure.
what price you buy it at
Yep.
today, right? And so if you're in it for the long game, it's always a great time to buy. Um, to answer your question about right now, today, I mean, it is a great time to buy. Interest rates last week, they just dropped.
Wow.
And so, and the Fed said they're not going to raise them the
That's
rest of the
great.
year. Now, is that the case? Obviously, we don't know, right? But it gives us more assurance that it did before, where, for the past 6 months or so, the mid to end of 2018 and beginning of 2019, there was a lot
Mm-hmm.
of uncertainty, in the economy as a whole and in real estate especially. And so, now that there's more certainty that, rates dropped, they're going to stay there. It's a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell. Right now in Orange County
Mm-hmm.
specifically, I would say anything under $1 million. It's a very balanced market. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that can buy homes right now, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
financing or cash. And there's also a good amount of people who
Sure.
want to sell their homes, right? So it's not a matter of a seller's market where maybe there's nothing on the market and there's all these buyers, so prices are just skyrocketing, right? It's pretty balanced right now. Again, under
Understood.
$1 million. I would say anything over $1 million in Orange County right now today, it's slightly a buyer's market, meaning there's a little bit more
Okay.
inventory than demand
Yeah.
in that price range. But overall, I mean, it's going pretty fast. And now, again, with interest rates dropping last week, there's been a flood of our clients, as well as I've been speaking to colleagues across, Orange County and even in the Inland Empire and across the nation for that matter. And just now that people have more certainty, they're wanting to get in the game, whether again it's primary or rental property or buying
Right.
more
So
rentals,
getting
right?
in the game. So I'm sure there's got to be kind of like that sweet spot, right? Like you wouldn't necessarily want to buy $1 million investment property to turn it into a rental because your return on investment, the rent rate that you get for that property may not equal the mortgage payment. So is there like a sweet
Yeah,
spot when you're
right,
working
right.
with people that are trying to break into that market or even pick up additional properties? Is there like number one, the market to you know, a house on Newport Coast is great, but is that where your average renters are looking?
Yeah,
Or, so where do you steer your clients when they're like, I want to jump in the market and I want, this $1.5 million home?
yeah. Um, that's a great question, and obviously I guess the easy answer would be yeah, you know, lower the price points are always going to be I wouldn't say always, most of the time would be a
Mm-hmm.
better investment, right? Return on your money. Just because, like you said, when you get in those lower priced homes, the rents are still good, and so that's covering your
Right.
cost and then some, hopefully, right? That's the goal. Now, again, once you get into those higher priced homes, it's a little bit different. But with that said, I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for and how much you have to put down. I mean, the more money you put down on the home, if you're financing it, the more
Sure.
you're going to get return, right? Because your
Right.
payment is lower. Now, if you go in with, you know, a low down payment, then obviously your monthly payment is going to be higher. So, yes, to answer the question, I would say the sweet spot in Orange County is anywhere in the ballpark of, you know, 500 to 700,000 because, you know, 500,000, it can get you a great
Mm-hmm.
condo or a townhome. Um, Most of the time, maybe a single family home in some of the other areas more inland
Right.
along the coast, and they still give you a
So
good
how do
return.
you know?
Once you go above that,
No, I was just going to say, how
go
do
ahead.
you know? I mean, you've been in the game for about 5 years, but on average, if you're working with somebody and they want to know, like, hey, Tyler, what kind of rent can I get for this property before we move forward with this? How do you guys figure
Yeah.
that out?
Yeah, awesome question. So we have a system that we use. It's called REIP, it's Real Estate
Hmm.
Investment Planning. And what it does, it basically accumulates, and you can plug in all the numbers, right? Your monthly mortgage payment, your principal and interest payment, what the gardener payment's going to be, if there is an HOA, which in Orange County most of the time there is, and all of that
Interesting.
combined, right? And then you say, okay, now you run the rental rates, which again, Management One helps us out with that, and then we say, okay, well, is this a good investment? So are you at least, we always say in the first couple years, first 1 to 2 years, if you're slightly paying out maybe $50 a month out of pocket, even though you're getting rent, you're still having to pay that 50 to cover some costs or whatever the case is, then that's still a good investment. Because again, over time, if you're in it for the long haul, it's going to recoup. And 5 years, 10 years from now it's that
Yeah.
uptrend, right? Now, if you're off by $300 to start, maybe it's something to consider. Okay, that might not be the property for you. But again, it's, we that's why we have
Hmm.
meetings with our clients before we start any of this. And we sit down and we say, what is your goal? Are you looking to buy one property, five properties, 10, 100? I mean, what really is the goal? Are you in it for the long haul, or are you looking to do it for a couple years and renovate
Sure.
it and then flip it? You know, Meaning, buy the home that maybe needs some work, renovate it, keep it for a couple years or even a couple months, and then put it back on the market once you've done the renovations to make
Hmm.
a profit. Um, and then after that, then we can really key down on which areas we prefer. Obviously, again, it's going to be more east of the ocean. Closer you get to the ocean, no matter what the home looks like, it's
Sure.
going to be more expensive. Um, and then we just go from there. And it's our job, us as the real estate agent and real estate team to help our clients out. Um, Sometimes, especially in even if it's an investor, it can be an emotional
Right.
process, especially when you're buying. And so it's our job to basically calm them down and help them think logically when they might, in that moment in time, be
Yep.
thinking on emotion
Yep.
rather than logic. And so that's where we really come into play. And our clients have appreciated that. Like I said, communication is key, and we're upfront with them from the start. We tell them from the start, hey, if we find something out or think something and have an opinion on something, we're going to tell you and we're going to be honest from you or with you, I should say, from the start. And they appreciate that because even if it's something they don't want to hear, at least we're honest with them and they can't come back on us 2 weeks later and say, hey,
Yeah.
you told me this,
Transparency.
right? And so I
Transparency
think
in
it
any
helps both.
industry.
Yeah, it helps both us and it helps them
Yeah.
more. So I think as the consumer, it helps them more
I
than
agree. So
anything.
we have Kim watching, joining us today. So, hey, Kim, thanks so much for tuning in with us.
All right.
And just drop questions that you might have for Tyler in the comments, and then we'll get those answered for you. So, kind of keeping in with this theme, when people are getting in or even seasoned landlords, investors, do you recommend that they manage the properties themselves, or do you um, recommend that they have some sort of professional property management, or do you guys offer that in-house with Keller Williams?
So with your two questions, so first I'll answer if you're looking to buy rental property, or for that matter, you could bring in if you're trying to sell your own house, or if you're trying to,
Yep.
we all do it, right? So in the real estate world, we call them FSBOs, which stands
Yep.
for sale by owner, right? When they're trying to list a home themselves, because for whatever the reason may be, we all do it though. I mean, you probably tried to sell your own car and you might have been successful at it, and then sometimes you're not, or you're trying to sell a old iPhone of yours
Hmm.
or whatever, right? So same thing comes in for renting. You can rent it by owner. um, you can. Do we recommend it? No, just as we don't recommend you selling your home on your own. Number one is because it comes back to it's emotional. A little bit less emotional, maybe if it's on
Hmm.
the investment side. And then, again, it's creating that leverage for you to do what you want to do, whether that's taking vacations, whether that's spending more time with your family, grandchildren, whatever the case is. Um, when you're your own landlord and renting out your own property, it's not just getting a renter in there and
Right.
then paying you every month. I mean, you have maintenance. What if something goes out? What if something catches on fire? You get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday night, or which would be a Monday morning, um, that a hose broke, a water pipe broke,
Right.
whatever the case is. You don't want to deal with that. Look, we're all in this life, no matter what industry you're in, to make money, and then that money you want to save it or invest it to make more money. Um, so I get where people come in and they say, well, I want to save money. Same thing on commission and real estate. Well, in actuality, if you look at it, especially when renting over the long haul, having a management company, a great, amazing management company, I will say that, you can't just have any management company. You have that in place and a team on your side, in the long run, I guarantee 110% you will be very, very satisfied.
Awesome. So do you guys do?
So I would say get a management company. And then the second question, which I think you were just about to ask, uh, our team doesn't. And that's where Management One comes into play, is we obviously have a relationship with them, a great one at that. And so we refer all our investors to Management One. Now, do they go with you guys, or do you guys see them as a good fit? Sometimes, you as the company or us as the real estate team, we see a client and we say, hey, what you're looking for, we're not the right fit for you. It's not always if the consumer thinks that, you as a company are the right fit for them, right? So it goes both ways, that
Hmm.
transparency. So we don't offer that. We can guide them, but we're more definitely on the sales side, and in terms of the management, we hand them over to Management One, or help them in any way we can. So I think it works great that way. And just speaking to the viewers, we've had clients that have rented out their own property, um, and just they always come back,
Yeah.
pretty much. You know, it's like they tried it and then they went to management and then they thought they could do it again, or they just tried it from the start on their own. They're like, all right,
Can't do
never mind,
it.
hand it over. Whether it's Management One or a different management company, just in general, they typically hand it over to the
Sure.
management company.
Hey, Jessica and Aisha, thanks
So
for
yeah.
joining us today. If you guys have any questions for Tyler, just put them in the comments below and we'll get those answered. We are going to wrap up here with one last question, Tyler. So, what drives you daily to
Okay.
wake up and choose to be a real estate agent?
Okay. Well, in Keller Williams, we call that your big why. So basically, you're asking, why do I do what
Yep.
I do every day, right? What gets me going in the morning? It's my big why for years, and it can change, but for years, for me, it's been proving my family right, because they've invested, not only in just my parents, but cousins and aunts and uncles and even friends for that matter, are always, rooting me on in a
Hmm.
positive direction. And so, instead of, I know some people are like, oh, I want to prove them wrong. In my case, it's actually to prove them right, because it would be very detrimental to me personally if I let
Hmm.
any of them down. So that's pretty much what drives me to wake up in the morning, do the things I don't want to do, as we all have in all of our businesses. Even if you love your job and your career, I guarantee there are some
Yep.
things you do not like. So, so yeah, that's pretty much my big why. And what I would leave is just, you got to enjoy the process of all this too. Whether you're buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate, it's fun. And that's, one of the goals for our team is
Yeah.
customer experience as well as customer service. We want them to not only say, oh, I recommend you to so-and-so, Sudman agency or Management One. It's like, oh my gosh, like that was so fun. Like when I have the necessary funds or this and that, like I want to do it again because it was so much fun. So That's really our
Wonderful.
goal.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Tyler. Appreciate your time, and we
Yeah.
look forward to continuing to work
Yeah. I
with you
appreciate you
guys and
having me.
excited to see where Sudman Agency goes in the coming years. So, congratulations again on that.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And we'll, hopefully we'll be
Yep,
back on
sounds
here
great. Have
soon.
a great day. Bye
All right.
bye.
Thanks so much.